on Money on Your Mind, we make a point of interviewing real people. It's not just about the experts. So we've heard from two financial planners who were able to help us with what are all the considerations that you need to have when you're making the decision to have a financial planner at all. And so now we're speaking with Peg Sullivan, who lives and works in Winchester, Mass., who's also here helping at the conference today. And we wanted to hear from you. How do you handle your money?
Well, my husband, a number of years ago, we were with a financial planner, but during the .com, we just lost a lot of money. So he took it into his own hands and has been very conservative, not heavily invested in the stock market, more in bonds and treasuries. And so, it's, we feel more comfortable in that route. We have some in the stock market, but not that much,
Has it been that way for a while, or have you made any changes given the roller coaster ride we've been on in 2008?
Nothing in 2008. We're just sort of staying doing what we're doing exactly, especially with the stock market, you just don't know. It's very volatile, and, we're just pretty conservative.
And how do you or he make decisions about money?
Well, our kids are out of school, so that's the big bulk of our, college education. Now it's more into retirement, and, we live pretty conservatively. I work at the bookstore, and, he's got a good job, but, we live, within our means. We don't have credit card debt. We have a small mortgage, so we feel pretty comfortable with what we're doing,
Well, high five for living within your means.
Thank you.
I mean, it's honestly, it's a lot of what I find right now is that people weren't necessarily living within their means, or they were living just so close to the edge. And, the surveys show that almost 1 out of 2 people live paycheck to paycheck, which is basically like on the edge, and so it's good to understand that there is a choice, that you are making a choice to live within your means very consciously, not to generate credit card debt.
Well, the credit card, our kids, they're inundated with so many credit card applications. Every week they get 3 or 4 through the mail. And I think it's too easy for people to, get these credit cards and put everything on credit card. We would never think of buying anything that we couldn't pay for at the end of the month. We would never buy anything that we had to put, pay credit card interest on, You just do without it. But I think the mentality of people today is put it on credit card.
I think it has been, and I think that's how we've gotten into a lot of trouble. And so I definitely appreciate the point when, can I afford it? Well, let me ask myself, can I pay cash for it?
Exactly.
If it's, we'll make exceptions for a house or a car or something, but for a lot of the day-to-day, to understand that it's not about just, can I put it on a card? Because people, on average, statistics will show that they'll pay almost 100% or more additional if they're financing it. So I definitely appreciate that positive money management habit that you have. So that's fantastic. And it's good for you to know that you are doing these things that are really working. So anything else you'd like to add in terms of your relationship with your husband around money, or how money is for your children? How you've been teaching them?
I worry about the kids, they're on their own now, but I think the younger generation, they don't deny themselves a lot. They don't know what it is to live on a budget, with the credit card. They indulge in. And I worry about that, They've come from a different point where we came from, They had a comfortable upbringing, So, but maybe they'll learn,
Any words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our children of today?
Save your money. And I tell my kids that all the time, and they go, "Oh, Mom, you're always saying that." But, it's true.
Well, they will thank you later, Peg. Thank you so much for joining us today.
All right.
Thank you. Hi, now we have David Yeske from San Francisco, California, a CFP there. And what's the name of your firm?
Yeske Bowie.
Yeske Bowie, fantastic. So what we were just saying was that we have an opportunity now to speak to our viewers, for them to hear the answers to the questions that they may have on their mind about financial planners, but may not have the financial planner to ask. So we have the ability now to do some interviews on site at the Financial Planning Association conference. And thank you for agreeing to speak to us today and speak to all of our viewers today.
My pleasure.
And so to start, what do you think is the most common misconception?
I think probably the most common misconception is that financial planners only do investments, when in fact financial planners help people with a whole range of financial issues. They help them uncover, they help them articulate what their goals, their dreams, their aspirations are for themselves and their family, and then they help them address develop strategies to achieve those goals. And that involves looking at cash flow and determining what your liquidity needs are, and looking at insurance and estate plans and all of the different areas in which you have questions in your life. Now, yes, it's true, investments is one of those areas, but it's one of only several. It's really necessary to marshal all of the financial resources you have available in order to reach your goals.
When you look at your job and your role, where do you find you spend your time?
I spend probably as much time talking to clients and helping to understand who they are as human beings as I do anything else. Yes, I crunch numbers, but crunching numbers in a sense is the easy part. Understanding who people are, what they prefer, how they would like to live their lives, that's what matters. Then we develop strategies for helping them realize that by most effectively using all of the resources available to them.
You had also mentioned about people's fears and as well as their goals. What are you finding people are feeling right now? What are the calls that you're getting from your clients?
The calls that I'm getting are related to, obviously, to the crisis in the stock market, the crisis in the financial system, the concerns about the economy, jobs. They have all of those fears because they watch the news, they read the newspapers. There's some real stuff going on out there that's scary. What people are mostly concerned with is, do we need to make any changes right now? Do we need to make changes in their financial plan? Do they need to make changes in the types and amounts of insurance they have? Do they need to make changes to their investment portfolio? And my answer is almost invariably no, because the time to prepare, the time to react to a disaster is before the disaster happens. Mm-hmm. And so through the financial planning process, we've already taken the actions we need to take for the current crisis. People have adequate emergency funds, adequate cash reserves. They have portfolios that are broadly and appropriately diversified. Their estate plans are reflective of their desires. All of those arrangements are already in place. Mm-hmm. So the answer I'm generally giving them is, yes, this is scary, but you're prepared. You're in a good position to ride this out.
Stay the course, keep the faith. I totally agree, and maybe there's a little bit more you can add in that. What I find is that one of the benefits of a financial planner is to know that your assets are diversified, because then that way you can hopefully be doing a little bit better than the market, no matter what the market is doing, and rather than just being purely stocks. When I say market, I think people often just look at the S&P 500 or the Dow or something like that, and it's the roller coaster ride that they're going to find when one day it's up, one day it's down, and I just discourage some of that kind of constant monitoring, because it will literally give you heart palpitations sometimes.
It'll make you crazy.
It'll make you crazy, exactly. So when we're talking about what people can be doing, is there one thing, we give them a general kind of keep the faith, stay the course, but is there anything in particular you would recommend? Should they contact their financial advisor? Should they make sure they are diversified? If they don't have one, make sure that you get one. What's your suggestion?
If someone doesn't have a financial planner, now would be an excellent time to get one. Because it may be that you're not as bad off as you think. It may be that you have good arrangements in place, but it's always best to know. And if there are better ways that you can have your finances arranged, the financial planner can help you do that. And as much as anything else, a financial planner can help you understand your finances, so you do feel more in control, more confident. Mm-hmm. If someone is broadly and appropriately diversified, then now is not the time to make changes. But for someone who wasn't working with a planner before, that may not be the case. So if you have a portfolio that's unduly concentrated, that is not properly diversified, there are some actions to take. Now would be a good time to be diversified. The key is that you want to make sure that you're diversified in such a way that when the system as a whole comes back, we know that markets ultimately will recover. The economy, when you own stocks and bonds, especially when you own stocks, those simply represent ownership of the productive assets of the economy. The economy will inevitably resume its growth path, and when it does so, the value of those productive assets will also rise. So it's inevitable that the economy will eventually begin to grow again, the markets will rise, and if you have a broadly diversified portfolio, your investments will rise with it. But if you're not appropriately diversified, if you're too heavily concentrated in a handful of stocks or in the wrong sector, your portfolio may not recover when the rest of the economy recovers. So if you're not diversified now, it's not too late to get diversified so that you'll be appropriately positioned when things eventually turn around.